Hey Francine, I have figured out the secret to reselling, and in this video, we're going to let the people that are watching
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation.
our video know what the secret is. And it's pretty simple. It's nothing convoluted. It's nothing complex. It's just buy good stuff. Speaking of which, we have an item that we sold in that tote right there. You want to grab that out real quick? It's important to buy really good stuff. This isn't going to be a long video. This is just simple. One of the rules that I have made for me and myself is that if it doesn't have a good sell-through rate, if that means that if there are like 20 of them listed and only one has sold in the past 6 months, that means I'm probably not going to buy it. But when you find stuff out there, these ink cartridges right here, for example, if there are 20 of them listed, but 15 of them have sold in the past 30 days, that's something that I'm probably going to buy. That's something that I'm going to invest my money in because I know I'm going to get that money back really quick. Speaking of which, how much did they sell for?
About $21 plus shipping.
They sold for $21 plus shipping. I paid $1 or $2 for them at a thrift store. And that was something, when I looked them up, I wanted to see what the sell-through rate was. Now, in this video, there's going to be a couple of items that didn't sell in the 30 days and one item that sold for really big money that actually took over a year to sell. But sometimes you have to wait for the money to come to you. But for the small items, anything probably under 50 bucks, it's definitely important to look at that sell-through ratio to make sure that it's something that's going to move quickly. Okay, so we wandered down into the basement and we've got to pull like 5 items down here, maybe 4. And the first item that we have is an orange crush bottle. And this is one of those items that took a while to sell. The sell-through ratio wasn't bad, but it was the duration of how long the item had to be listed before it was sold. And she's over there trying to find the right orange crush bottle. I have 2 of them that are pretty similar, but this one had to be listed. I think it was listed for nearly a year before it finally sold, and she is struggling.
I think they're the same.
They might be the same. They could be.
There is a quantity of 2. So
yeah, so if it's a quantity of 2, it just doesn't matter. Just pick them out the nicer one.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
And
I think this one's a little cleaner.
It don't. Yeah, we can wipe it down. But the fact is that I have 2 of those listed. I might be the only one on the listing. I don't know. I might be the only one that has that single bottle listed. But it will sell eventually. It's just going to take a while for the right buyer to come along. It sold for how much?
36 plus shipping.
36 plus shipping. Did it have a date on it or anything like that?
It says 1920 on there.
So it's a 1920 soda bottle. You know, that stuff's getting harder and harder to find. It's over 100 years old. So when it's something that's older, I might list it. I might be willing to set on a little bit longer to find the right buyer. Now, I could lower the price on it, and it probably would have sold a lot quicker. But sometimes if you wait on that, there's the old adage of having the slow nickel, or the slow dime and the fast nickel. And I'm kind of the slow dime kind of guy. I like to, because it's hard for us to find stuff, I like to maximize my profits on the items that I do get. Okay, the next item that we have is in small tote 13. I love these little totes here. They work pretty, they work pretty good. Is it the one on the very bottom?
It is.
It's always the one on the very bottom. I just set it over here. And it is a really tiny, another little tiny weird that we sold 2 of items like this back to back. Is that it right? Okay. It's a little 7-Up soda bottle, and it isn't a salt and pepper shaker because there's no holes in the top of that. And again, another item that I had listed for a while, but it eventually sold. But there's not a ton of those listed. It's a pretty rare item. You got to wait for the buyer to come along, but that one came along in probably about 6 months to a year. How much did it sell for?
About 24 plus shipping.
So between those 2 soda bottles, there's $50-$60, about roughly 60 bucks in 2 bottles. So when you're out looking around, be sure to check out bottles. Something interesting to remember about bottles, it's important to see where they come from, because a lot of towns have bottle companies back in the day, because they would make their soda or they'd bottle their soda there. And they're really, really collectible. People from those communities love to collect those soda bottles.
Oh, this right here.
Now, the next item that I got is something that sold pretty quick. I just picked this up last month, but this is a World War I or World War II. I'm not exactly sure, but what's the title of the item say?
It says World War I U.S. Collins Army Engineers boho machete knife.
Boho machete knife. Pull that bad boy out so we can see that. It's a nice one of those. That one probably cut a lot of heads off during the last Great War, or the first Great War. But anyways, it's an American machete, and a lot of those were left over from I think either the Spanish-American War. That was the one right before World War One, and so they used those in World War One. And how much did it sell for?
$153 plus shipping.
$153 plus shipping. They sell anywhere between $150 to $200. This one had all the markings. There's no markings on it. They'd been polished off. So I didn't get as much for it, but that is an item that has a very high sell-through rating. Anytime that you can buy an item from like World War I, World War II, that stuff typically sells pretty quick. There weren't many listed, and they just sell. You're going to make good money when you buy stuff like that. This is the next item that we sold today. It is a 14 karat gold ring. It's a citrine with a citrine stone. I don't know what the other stones are in it. But how much did it sell for, Francine?
$235.
$235. Is it going to have to go through the jewelry authenticator, or is it?
I really don't know.
It would say, I would think, authentication on there, but I'm not sure. Let's see where the address. See if it's one of those items that have to be authenticated. Nope. It looks like it's just going to go directly to the customer. I pulled that out of a storage locker. I bought a storage locker where I got a bunch of World War II gold, music, movies. It was $50. We probably made 15,000 bucks off that storage locker. And it was amazing. But that was one of the last items that we have in there. And it sold for over 200 bucks. So that's not bad at all. So that's going to be the video. This was a question that was asked to me by a viewer by the name of Frank. And I wanted to give him an answer as to why how I pick items to sell on eBay. And most of that has to do with the rate in which it sells on the platform. I'm not looking for long tail items anymore. I want stuff that's going to sell. I want most of my items to be $15 or more. And I don't want to set on them for years. As you've seen in my past videos, I've told you guys that I have a ton of items that I just went through my inventory and found a bunch of stuff that was no longer listed. I think that if you keep something listed for over 4 or 5 years, or if you've got an item that's not getting the views that eBay thinks it should, they are delisting your item. So just listing it and forgetting it doesn't work. You need to have a plan. You need to be looking for items that have a good sell-through rate, that are making you good profits, and you can be successful. I think that if you have probably 1,000 or 1,500 items, good items listed on eBay, that you can make upwards of $100,000 a year in sales. Now, you're not going to make that much money, but you can easily break $100,000 in sales if you are willing to put the work in. And that's what we do. And it works pretty good. I mean, we have paid off all of our debt. I owe like 800 bucks on my 2015 Chevy truck, and I think I owe like $5,000 on a lawnmower, and my wife owes a bunch on her Mustang. So if you guys want, go down below, click on her store, and go buy something from her, and that would be fantastic. But that's going to be the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You have a good day, and God bless.